ever planned the perfect dream vacation only to realize, boom, you need a visa and suddenly your travel plans are in the hands of a stranger in an embassy office? Yeah, we've all been there. Some countries roll out the red carpet for Filipinos, but these 10, they've built a velvet rope and are holding the clipboard deciding who gets in. Let's break down the strictest countries for Filipino travelers and why getting approved might feel like winning the lottery. Do you ever wake up one morning and think, you know what, I want to see a kangaroo today? Well, if you're Filipino, that's not as easy as booking a ticket and packing your bags. Nope. Australia makes sure you really want to visit before they let you in. Let's talk about the visa process. If you thought getting approved for a Schengen visa was tough, wait till you meet Australia's visa application system. They ask for bank statements, proof of employment, travel history, a letter from your pet hamster. Okay, maybe not the hamster, but you get the point. They don't just stamp your passport for fun. You have to prove that you're either a genuine tourist or have legit business there. But let's say you make it through. Is it worth the trouble? Absolutely. Because Australia isn't just a country, it's a whole continent of breathtaking landscapes, vibrant cities, and animals that look like they were designed in a video game. First stop, Sydney. You can't go to Australia without seeing the Sydney Opera House. Even if you don't care about opera, you'll still end up taking 200 pictures of it like every other tourist. And then there's Bondi Beach, where the waves are high, the sand is golden, and your SPF 100 sunscreen is still not enough. But wait, let's talk about nature. Australia has the outback, a place so vast and remote, you could probably yell out your deepest secrets and only a kangaroo would hear you. Uluru, the famous giant rock in the middle of nowhere, is a sacred site for the Aboriginal people, and standing before it is like stepping into another world. And of course, the Great Barrier Reef. It's the world's largest coral reef system, basically the Facebook of marine life. Everyone's connected, and there's always drama. Nemo? He's in there. Sharks? Oh yeah. Giant turtles? Absolutely. But sadly, thanks to climate change, the reef is slowly disappearing. So if you ever get a visa to Australia, you better see it while it's still there. Filipinos in Australia, oh, they're thriving. There are over 400,000 Filipinos living down under, making it one of the largest Filipino communities abroad. And guess what? Jollibee is already there. If Jollibee made it, you know Filipinos did too. So, is Australia worth the visa hassle? Yes, but only if you're ready for the paperwork, the long flight, and possibly seeing a spider the size of your hand. Speaking of tough visas, wait till you hear about the next country on our list. If you thought Australia was strict, this next place takes things to a whole new level. Stick around, you won't believe what they ask for. All right, let's be real. If you're Filipino, chances are you know someone who lives in Canada. An aunt, a cousin, a high school classmate you haven't talked to in years, but suddenly message you saying, "Uy, punta ka na rin dita, ang dami dita nahab ng trabaho." Sounds easy, right? Wrong. Because before you can even think about moving, visiting, or even breathing Canadian air, you need to go through the dreaded visa process. If Canada had a dating profile, it would say, loves immigrants, but also loves making them work for it. Getting a Canadian visa is like trying to join an exclusive VIP club. You don't just knock and walk in. You need to prove your worth. Financial status? Checked. Travel history? Examined. Work background? Scrutinized. Intentions? Interrogated like you're applying for the CIA. And let's not forget the visa interview. If the officer even suspects you're planning to overstay, boom, rejected faster than a bad Tinder match. But let's say you actually get the visa. Is it worth it? Oh, absolutely. Canada's best spots, more than just ice and poutine. First stop, Niagara Falls, the most famous waterfall in the world. Loud, powerful, and constantly stealing the spotlight from every other waterfall. It's the Beyoncé of waterfalls. Then there's Toronto, a city so diverse, you'll hear 10 different languages just by walking down the street. It's home to the CN Tower, one of the tallest freestanding structures in the world, perfect for taking breathtaking photos or realizing how tiny you are. And if you like nature, Banff National Park is basically heaven on earth. Snow-capped mountains, turquoise lakes, and fresh air that makes you question why you ever lived in a polluted city. Now, let's talk about something truly shocking. Did you know that there are over 1 million Filipinos in Canada? That's 10% of the entire Filipino population abroad. We're everywhere, working in hospitals, restaurants, offices, and even in the government. Yep, there are Filipino politicians in Canada too. Imagine a senator who knows how to cook adobo. And guess what? Jollibee's already in Canada too. That's how you know we've made it. The visa process might be a pain, but Canada rewards you big time. Whether you're visiting or moving permanently, it's a place of opportunities, adventure, and Tim Hortons coffee. But wait, if you think Canada's visa process is strict, wait until you hear about the next country on this list. Let's just say they don't just check your documents, they check your entire existence. Stick around, you won't believe how hard it is to get in. Coming up next. For most Filipinos, the UK is like that one tita's house. You've heard all about it, you know people who live there, and it sounds exciting, but actually getting inside? That's another story. Take Leo, for example. A nurse from Manila, he's been dreaming of working in London ever since he saw a vlog of a Filipino driving a double-decker bus while blasting OPM music. He imagined himself strolling down Oxford Street, sipping tea with a British accent, and finally experiencing winter without using an aircon. Fast forward to today, Leo's on his laptop staring at the UK visa requirements, questioning all his life choices. Bank statements, travel history, proof of financial ties, a no-to, application, para-maging secret agent. And then the visa interview. Leo walks in, sweating more than he did in college finals. Visa officer, why do you want to visit the UK? Leo, for tourism and to visit my relatives. Visa officer, are you sure you're not planning to stay illegally and open a Jollibee? At this point, Leo isn't sure whether to laugh or cry. But here's the truth. The UK is extremely strict about visas. Even if you're just visiting for a short trip, you need to prove you'll return home, or they'll assume you're secretly plotting to move in forever. Some applications get rejected faster than you can say, mind the gap. But for those who do get in, the UK is absolutely worth the struggle. First stop, London, home to Buckingham Palace, where you can try and fail to make the royal guards laugh. Then there's the Tower of London, a fortress, former prison, and now a tourist hotspot. Basically, the UK's version of Intramuros, but with more ghosts. And of course, Big Ben, which, fun fact, isn't actually the name of the clock, it's the name of the bell inside. Mind-blowing, right? But if you think the UK is just about London, you're missing out. Scotland looks like a scene from a fantasy movie with castles and mysterious locks where, yes, some people still believe in the Loch Ness Monster. Liverpool, home of the Beatles, aka the OG boy band before BTS took over the world. The British countryside, the kind of place where you sip tea, eat scones, and suddenly feel like you should be wearing a fancy hat. Did you know there are over 200,000 Filipinos in the UK, where nurses, engineers, IT specialists, caregivers, even business owners? The NHS, National Health Service, runs on Filipino nurses. And even British people are starting to appreciate adobo. And the biggest proof that Filipinos have taken over, Jollibee is already in London. If you see Jollibee in a country, that means Filipinos are there in full force. If you survive the visa process, the UK rewards you with stunning sights, rich history, and endless opportunities. But wait, if you think getting into the UK is difficult, just wait until you see the next country on our list. It's a land of samurais, sushi, and some of the toughest immigration policies in the world. Stick around, you don't want to miss this one. What do you think? Is the UK on your travel bucket list? Tell us in the comments. Oh, and to those who haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Don't let this channel be like your visa application pending forever. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's keep going. If you think getting a UK visa was tough, Japan's immigration process is like trying to fight a sumo wrestler. Without any training, you need strategy, endurance, and the ability to withstand crushing rejection. Just ask Miguel, a Filipino IT specialist who dreamed of working in Tokyo. He pictured himself hustling in Shibuya, eating real ramen at midnight, and maybe even meeting his own anime love story. But before he could even book his flight, he had to get past the boss battle, the Japanese visa process. Miguel thought he had everything: bank statements, employment history, proof he wouldn't overstay, until he reached the visa interview. Visa officer, why do you want to visit Japan? Miguel, for tourism and to experience the culture. Visa officer, are you sure? No plans to marry a local and stay forever? At this point, Miguel felt like he was in an interrogation scene from a crime drama. Japan is extremely cautious when issuing visas, and even a tiny red flag could mean denial. Japan loves tourists, but they also love strict rules. If you're applying for a tourist visa, you'll need proof of income, a clear travel itinerary, and a guarantee you won't mysteriously forget your return flight. If you're applying for a work visa, get ready for a long process, employer sponsorship, and endless paperwork. If you're trying for permanent residency, good luck. Even Filipinos who have lived in Japan for years struggle to get approved. But for those who do get in, Japan is a dream come true. Once you make it past immigration, Japan feels like stepping into the future while walking through history. Tokyo? Neon lights, high-tech toilets, and vending machines that sell everything. Kyoto? Ancient temples, geishas, and the most peaceful streets you'll ever walk. Osaka? The street food capital, where takoyaki and okonomiyaki will change your life. And let's talk cherry blossoms, the national symbol of Japan. Every year, Filipinos flock to Japan just to see sakura season. But did you know, Japan isn't just a tourist spot for Filipinos, it's a major work destination. There are over 325,000 Filipinos in Japan, working in industries like healthcare, engineering, and even entertainment. Japan values hard work and discipline, and Filipinos were known for exactly that. That's why Filipinos have thrived in Japan for decades. Japan makes you work for your visa approval, but once you step into this incredible country, you'll understand why people keep coming back. The food, amazing. The transportation, efficient. The culture, a fascinating mix of tradition and modernity. But hold on, if you think Japan's immigration is strict, wait until you see the next country. This place has one of the most powerful economies in the world, but their visa process, even tougher than their legendary autobahns. Stick around, you don't want to miss this one. Is Japan on your must-visit list? Have you applied for a Japan visa before? Tell us in the comments. So you made it through Japan's strict visa process? Congratulations, you survived level 1. But now, welcome to Germany, where the visa process is as precise and strict as their autobahns. If you thought getting a Schengen visa was just about showing your passport and flashing a smile, think again. Germany doesn't just hand out visas like pretzels at Oktoberfest. Patrick, a Filipino mechanical engineer, had his heart set on Berlin. He imagined himself working in a high-tech office, enjoying weekend trips to Oktoberfest, and maybe even dating a German girl who teaches him the perfect way to pronounce bratwurst. He had the qualifications, the experience, and even a job offer, but Germany? They made him prove his worth and his ability to survive without being a financial burden before even considering his application. Visa officer, why do you want to work in Germany? Patrick, I have a signed contract with a German company. Visa officer, okay, but do you speak German? Patrick, I took some classes. Visa officer, can you prove that? Yes, you literally have to prove everything, from your financial stability to your language skills to your deep, undying love for bratwurst. Germany is part of the Schengen zone, which means getting a visa here isn't just about Germany, it's about proving you deserve to enter all of Europe. Tourist visa? You need a rock-solid itinerary, proof of return, and enough funds to survive without selling your kidneys. Work visa? You must prove your job can't be filled by a European citizen, and in some cases, pass German language tests. Student visa? Congrats, you got accepted to a German university. Now show proof you have at least 11,208 euro in a blocked account to support yourself. And let's not forget the legendary German bureaucracy. If you miss one document, expect delays, rejections, or an appointment 6 months later. Once you survive the visa maze, Germany is actually pretty amazing. Berlin, a mix of history, creativity, and hipster cafes. Munich, Oktoberfest, BMW headquarters, and a beer culture stronger than your willpower. The Black Forest, the inspiration for Grimm's fairy tales, and the perfect place to get lost, hopefully not forever. And let's not forget the Autobahn, where you can drive as fast as you want, unless you're Filipino and still terrified of EDSA traffic. Do you know Germany actively recruits Filipino nurses, engineers, and IT specialists? Germany is facing a labor shortage, which means they need skilled workers. Filipinos have been stepping up, especially in healthcare, where thousands of Filipino nurses now work in German hospitals. But before you get excited, learning German is a must. Unlike other countries, Germany doesn't just let you wing it with English. The process is tough, but Germany rewards you with high salaries, free healthcare, and top-tier public services. But wait, if you think Germany's visa process is strict, wait until you see the next country. This one is home to the Eiffel Tower, world-famous fashion, and a visa process that will test your patience like never before. Is Germany on your bucket list? Ever applied for a Schengen visa? Tell us in the comments. Ever dreamed of sipping coffee in a Parisian cafe, gazing at the Eiffel Tower, and feeling effortlessly chic? Well, hold that thought, because before you can even set foot in France, you have to survive its visa process. If you thought Japan was strict and Germany was obsessed with paperwork, France takes it to a whole new level. It's not just a visa application, it's a full-blown test of patience, endurance, and how much you really want to eat authentic croissants. And don't think it's just about filling out forms. Ours will make you work for that approval, like you're applying for a role at the Louvre. Want to know why Filipinos struggle to get a French visa? And more importantly, is it even worth it? Well, stick around, because what's waiting for you on the other side might just be the adventure of a lifetime. Let's talk about Marie, a Filipino pastry chef who dreamed of studying at Le Cordon Bleu in Paris. She pictured herself strolling along the Seine River, baking croissants that flake perfectly, and maybe even meeting a charming French guy who whispers "Mon amour" while handing her a glass of Bordeaux. But first, the visa process, aka France's ultimate test of patience. Getting a French visa feels like solving a mystery novel written entirely in French. Tourist visa, you'll need to prove your entire itinerary, bank balance, and the fact that you won't suddenly fall in love with Paris and never leave. Student visa, be prepared to show proof of acceptance, financial stability, and medical insurance. Oh, and France might even interview you in French just to see if you can survive. Work visa, hope you have a company willing to fight for you, because France prioritizes hiring EU citizens. And here's the kicker, French bureaucracy is legendary for its slowness. You could apply for a visa, and by the time it's approved, you might have already lost interest. Once you conquer the visa maze, France is everything you've dreamed of. Paris, home to the Eiffel Tower, Louvre, and overpriced coffee. Bordeaux, wine so good it makes you question every drink you've had before. Provence, rolling lavender fields that make you feel like you're in a movie. And if you're into history and castles, the Chateau de Versailles will make you wonder why your house isn't this fancy. Did you know thousands of Filipinos live in France, working in fashion, hospitality, and even the food industry? Some even run their own Filipino restaurants, proving that no matter where we go, adobo always finds a way. And yes, Jollibee made it to Paris. If that doesn't scream Filipinos have arrived, I don't know what does. Absolutely. France offers rich culture, amazing food, and a lifestyle that makes you feel effortlessly chic. But wait, if you think France's visa process is a headache, just wait until you see the next country. This one is home to the Colosseum, the Vatican, and a visa process that will have you saying "Mamma Mia" in frustration. Is France on your bucket list? Ever applied for a French visa? Tell us in the comments. By the way, why haven't you subscribed yet? It's easier than getting a visa. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's keep going. Imagine this. You finally saved up for your dream trip to Italy. You can already taste the pasta, hear the gondoliers singing in Venice, and feel the history oozing from every stone in Rome. But before you even get to whisper "Mamma Mia," you hit a wall. Not a literal wall, a bureaucratic one. Because getting an Italian visa, it's like trying to order pizza in Italy and asking for pineapple on top. The struggle is real. And for Filipinos looking to work, study, or even just take a selfie with the Colosseum, get ready, because the visa process moves at a pace slower than a Sunday family lunch. So why do Filipinos keep coming back? What makes Italy worth all the stress? And how do you actually get approved without losing your mind? Let's break it down. The good, the bad, and the hilarious. Stick around, because Italy is a journey you don't want to miss. Marco was a Filipino architect with a dream to work in Rome, designing beautiful buildings that could one day stand alongside the Colosseum. He had the qualifications, a job offer, and a suitcase packed with formal clothes for his big move. But Italy? They weren't impressed just yet. Visa officer, why do you want to go to Italy? Marco, I have a job offer from an Italian firm. Visa officer, okay, but do you speak Italian? Marco, I'm learning. Visa officer, good, because you're gonna need a lot of patience. Spoiler, he wasn't joking. Marco's visa took months to get approved. Because in Italy, everything moves at the speed of a slow-cooked bolognese sauce. Italy's part of the Schengen zone, meaning once you get in, you can travel across Europe, but first, you have to survive their visa system. Tourist visa, you need a rock-solid itinerary, proof of return, and enough funds to survive without selling your kidneys. Work visa, your employer has to prove no European can do your job better. Student visa? Be prepared to show proof of acceptance, financial stability, and a willingness to eat pasta for the next 2 years. And just when you think you've got all your documents ready, they'll ask for something else. Once you actually get into Italy, it's everything you imagined and more. Rome, the Colosseum, the Vatican, and ruins older than your great-grandmother. Venice? Gondola rides through floating streets that make you feel like you're in a romance movie. Milan, high fashion, stunning architecture, and Filipino OFWs taking over the hospitality industry. And the food? Don't even get me started. Pizza, pasta, gelato. Italy is basically heaven for your taste buds. Did you know that over 170,000 Filipinos live in Italy? Many work in hospitality, caregiving, and construction, but a growing number are running their own businesses. Filipino-owned restaurants are thriving in cities like Rome and Milan. Oh, and guess what? Jollibee is in Italy now. If that doesn't prove Filipinos have made it, I don't know what does. Absolutely, Italy is a living museum, a food paradise, and a cultural experience like no other. But wait, if you think Italy's visa process is tough, just wait until you see the next country. This one is home to K-pop, kimchi, and a visa process that will make you question your life choices. Is Italy on your travel list? Ever tried applying for a visa? Tell us in the comments. Ever had a crush who made you work way too hard for their attention? You dress up nice, send the perfect message, wait hours for a reply, and what do you get? Seen. Well, congratulations, you've just experienced the South Korean visa process. Because no matter how much you prepare, South Korea plays hard to get. And for Filipinos, it's even trickier. You need documents, bank statements, and the patience of a K-drama lead waiting 16 episodes for a confession. Let's talk about Miguel, a diehard K-pop fan who dreamed of seeing BTS live, eating authentic samgyeopsal, and maybe, just maybe, bumping into his K-drama soulmate at a convenience store, because that's how it works, right? South Korea doesn't mess around. Even for a tourist visa, they need proof you can afford your trip, that you have strong ties to the Philippines, and that you won't mysteriously disappear into the K-drama world forever. Tourist visa, you need an itinerary so detailed, even your future self would be impressed. Work visa, good luck. South Korea prioritizes locals, and even English teachers need to pass strict requirements. Student visa, congrats! Now prove you have the finances to survive and brace yourself for one of the most intense academic cultures in the world. And let's not even talk about the permanent residency process. It's easier to get a full K-drama production approved than to qualify for long-term residency. But is it worth it? Absolutely. Seoul, neon lights, endless shopping, and street food that'll change your life. Gyeongbokgung Palace, walk where emperors once ruled, and get that iconic hanbok photo. Jeju Island, think paradise but with fresh seafood and dramatic volcanic landscapes. And don't even get me started on the food. Korean BBQ, tteokbokki, and authentic kimchi, your taste buds will never recover. Did you know thousands of Filipinos live and work in South Korea? Many are in factories, entertainment, and even government programs. And if you're a K-drama fan, you've probably seen Filipino actors popping up in scenes. Oh, and Jollibee? Yep, it's in South Korea too, because where there are Filipinos, there's Jollibee. Fact. Absolutely. The history, the food, the entertainment, South Korea is a modern wonderland. But if you think South Korea's visa process is strict, wait until you see the next country. This one is home to skyscrapers, strict laws, and a visa process that makes even millionaires sweat. Is South Korea on your bucket list? Have you applied for a visa before? Tell us in the comments. Oh, and by the way, why haven't you smashed that like button yet? It's easier than getting a visa. Hit like, subscribe, and let's keep going. So you want to visit the United States, the land of Hollywood, Disneyland, and burgers bigger than your head? Fantastic, now brace yourself, because getting a US visa is like trying to get into an exclusive club where the bouncer, aka the US Embassy, isn't easily impressed. If you thought Germany's paperwork obsession or Japan's strict immigration was tough, the US takes it to another level. One wrong answer, boom, denied. Enzo, a Filipino marketing manager, had always dreamed of visiting Los Angeles, the city of movies, celebrities, and overpriced avocado toast. He pictured himself walking down Hollywood Boulevard, taking selfies with a fake Spider-Man and stuffing his face with In-N-Out burgers. He booked his visa appointment, rehearsed his answers, and dressed like he was going to a corporate job interview. Then came the moment of truth. Visa officer, why do you want to visit the US? Enzo, for tourism and to attend a marketing conference. This officer, do you have family in the US? Enzo, yes, but I have no plans to stay. Visa officer, suspicious stare. Are you sure? At this point, Enzo was sweating harder than someone eating ghost pepper wings because when it comes to the US visa process, they assume everyone wants to overstay and it's your job to prove otherwise. Tourism visa, you need to prove you'll come back to the Philippines and won't suddenly pursue the American dream. Work visa, you'll need a company willing to sponsor you and the approval process is brutal. Student visa, congrats. Now prove you can afford tuition, living expenses, and won't secretly switch to a work visa later. And let's not forget the visa interview where your fate is decided in under 2 minutes. No pressure. But if you do get approved, the US is waiting for you with open arms and massive portion sizes. New York, Times Square, Broadway, and overpriced coffee. San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge, Silicon Valley, and hills that double as leg day workouts. Hawaii, beaches, luau's, and a surprising number of Filipinos. Oh, and speaking of Filipinos, with over 4 million Filipinos in the US, we've basically taken over. From healthcare to business to entertainment, Filipinos are thriving. And yes, Jollibee has landed in America because of course it has. For many, yes. The US offers opportunities, culture, and sights you won't find anywhere else. But if you thought the US visa process was tough, wait until you see the next country. This place has one of the oldest civilizations in the world, a booming economy, and a visa process that will make your head spin faster than a kung fu move. Have you ever applied for a US visa, got accepted, or rejected? Tell us in the comments. Oh, and if you made it this far, smash that like button. Subscribing is easier than getting a visa, so what are you waiting for? Boom! That's the sound of reality hitting you when you realized China doesn't just let you waltz in. If you thought Japan's visa process was strict, China takes it up a notch, like a Shaolin monk blocking every move you make. Filipinos travel to China for business, work, studies, or just to see the Great Wall and pretend they're in a kung fu movie, but guess what? Before you can even step foot in Beijing, Shanghai, or Guangzhou, you'll need to survive the visa gauntlet. And trust me, it's no walk in the Forbidden City. Let's break it down. The struggles, the surprises, and why Filipinos still take on this challenge, plus what's waiting on the other side if you actually get approved. Ask anyone who's applied for a Chinese visa and they'll tell you it's like filling out paperwork for a government conspiracy. Tourist visa, they want a full itinerary, hotel bookings, and proof that you won't start an illegal dim sum business. Business visa, your company must invite you. And no, your tita's online shop selling fake Crocs doesn't count. Work visa, hope you have a Chinese employer who's willing to go through Mount Everest level bureaucracy for you. Student visa, sure, just prove you have enough money, a real acceptance letter, and that you won't accidentally overstay. Oh, and let's talk about background checks. China will dig into your history like a jealous ex. If you've visited certain countries, posted anything controversial online, or even looked at Taiwan funny, good luck. But for those who survive the process, China is a whole different world. Once you actually get into China, it's insane in the best way possible. Shanghai, where futuristic skyscrapers make you feel like you time traveled to 2050. Guangzhou, the shopping capital where Filipinos go to buy wholesale everything. Beijing, history, culture, and Peking duck that will ruin all other roasted ducks for you. And let's not forget the opportunities. Thousands of Filipinos work in China as teachers, engineers, business owners, and even influencers. The pay? Solid. The experience? Life-changing. The traffic? Still better than Manila's. If you can handle paperwork, patience, and paranoia, China rewards you with endless opportunities, jaw-dropping cities, and food so good you'll question your life choices. Have you ever applied for a Chinese visa? How was the experience? Drop a comment below, and if you haven't already, smash that like button. It's easier than getting a Chinese work permit.